As some of y'all know, March and April were two very difficult months for me because I lost my grandfather. I lost almost 50K. I started having some issues with my business. Those are just some adversities of all the adversities that I faced those 2 months. And all those things that I went through made me start having conflicts and issues with my closest ones, like my ex, my family, my business partner. Because let me tell you something, if you're not good, if you're not stable, if you're not in peace with yourself, you will never be good, stable, and in peace with other people. So, of course, all these issues that I went through, all this adversity that I went through made me start having conflict and issues with my closest ones. And of course, they were two very hard months. But let me tell you something. Now I thank God because that literally made me a man. All that shit that happened made me better, made me stronger, made me wiser. All that shit got me closer to the man that I want to become. And let me tell you something, when God put you through adversity, you have to be thankful with Him because adversity is just a blessing covered up. Because every time that you go through adversity, every time that you go through hard times, you're going to get better. You're going to get closer to the man that you're destined to be. So be thankful with God. All that shit that you're going through is just the stepping stones to get to where you need to be. God is molding you. God is creating the real version of yourself, the one that He created you to be. So thank God I already overcome all those problems and now I'm wiser, better, stronger. I'm closer to the man that I want to become. So I sat down and I started writing all the things that I learned from these past 2 months. Because if you don't learn from the hard times, if you don't learn from the adversity, if you don't learn from your mistakes, you will never get better. The ones that doesn't know their story are condemned to repeat it. So you need to learn your mistakes. You need to write that down so you don't go through the same valley again. And that's why I'm recording this video, because I want to share you my lessons, because smart people learn from their experiences and their adversity, but wise people learn from other people's experience and adversity. The first lesson that I learned is that every single decision that we take will have a consequence. Either it's good or bad, either it's positive or negative. Every single decision that we take in our lives will lead us somewhere, will have a consequence. And I know that you probably already heard about this, but I want you to go deeper in this lesson. I want you to start thinking and analyzing how every single decision that you have taken since you was born had led you to where you are now. Start thinking about this and start analyzing how your life is the result of all your past decisions. Imagine how your life would be if you had been more disciplined, if you had taken better decisions, if you had made that project that you told yourself you was going to do. Imagine how your life would be right now. But you have taken the wrong decisions. That's why you are where you are now. And the only way to change your future, to change your life, is to start taking better decisions. And how you're going to do that? You're going to do it by thinking how you want to be in the future. Start thinking, how do I want to be in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? And do a mental picture of the person that you want to become, the man that you want to be. And when you have that picture, start asking yourself, how does this man act? How does this man think? How does this man react? What are his values? What are his traits? And start acting like that. Start taking decisions like that, man. Because that's the only way that you're going to actually change your life. But you need to start now. You need to start today. If you're tired of the life that you're living, because I know you are, I've been there. If you feel like there's no tomorrow, like the world is coming to an end, like, why am I in this life? Why am I living like this? I know you feel like that because I've been there. But I start taking better decisions. And these past 2 months, I took very bad decisions because I wasn't in a mental framework where I was able to take good decisions because I was just running through a lot of fucking issues, a lot of things that were eating my mind up. So I started taking bad decisions because I didn't have that clarity. But now you have it. Now you have it because I'm telling you, start acting like the person that you need to be, that you want to be. Start acting like that man. I'm telling you this so you have the information, because information is power. Knowledge is power, but you need to apply it. You need to apply the knowledge. If you don't do it, then it's worth nothing. And another thing that I want to tell you is that we as humans tend to act based on the emotions, and we don't think about the possible consequences of our acts when we do and when we take the decision. But that's why I started thinking and I started acting based on my purpose and not my pleasures, because that's what a man do. A man moves by purpose and not by pleasures, and a man think before acting. That's what I do now. That's the man that I'm becoming. I don't act based on my feelings no more, because that's for boys, that's for little kids, that's for children. The Bible said, when I was a children, I act and think like a children. But now that I'm a man, I act and think like a man. And that's what you need to do. I don't know how you're 20, 30, 40 years old and you still act like a child. You need to start thinking and acting like the man that you want to become, like your greatest version. Think before taking the action. Think the possible consequences. Think, does this action that I'm going to take will get me closer to the man that I want to become? Does this action that I'm going to take will make me better, will make me wiser, will make me stronger? Does this action is aligned with my purpose, with the man that I want to become? If the answer is yes, then do it. The second lesson that I learned, and pay close attention to this one, because this lesson will change your life completely if you actually engrave it in your mind and start acting based on it. The second one is, when you're going through those hard times, when you're going through the hard times that you're going right now, don't try to cover up those hard times with actions that will make you feel better in the moment. For example, let's say that you broke up with your girlfriend and then you start masturbating all day, 3 times per day, because that makes you feel better. That's what children do. Let me tell you why you don't have to do this. Because if you do this, you're just covering up the problem. You're not solving it from the bottom. And that's what you need to do. You need to solve the problem from the bottom. When you start acting and taking decisions that will make you feel better in the moment, you will pay a higher price after. Because let's say your business is starting to have some issues, as I had, and instead of you actually looking for the solution, you start going to the club and start getting drunk so you can forget about the problems. Then the next day, the next morning, you're going to feel like shit. And guess what? The problem is still going to be there because you just cover it up. What you need to do is to solve the problem from the bottom of it. You need to be a man. You need to face the problem, solve it like a man. That's the only way that you will get over it. That's the only way that you will get over the hard times and the adversity. And in these moments, you need to push harder in every single thing that you do, because a lot of people, when they are going through the difficult times, when they are going through the adversity, they stop doing the things that they are supposed to do. Waking up early, going to the gym, hitting their macros. But you don't have to do that. You have to push harder to get out of the problem, to get out of the dark hole. That's the only way that you're going to get out. Face the problem and push harder so you can get out. Don't cover the problem with vices, with pleasure, with momentary pleasure, because you will just pay a higher price after the pleasure is gone. Be a man and face the problem and solve it from the bottom of it. Now, the third lesson, and I want you to pay close attention to this one too, is that everything in this life, every single situation that you go through depends on the mindset and the perspective that you have. If you have the victim mindset, you're going to suffer. The problems are going to destroy you. You're never going to get better. You're going to get worse with every single problem that you face. But if you have the mentality of, what can I learn from here? How can I get better? How can I transform and transcend to the man that I want to become based on these problems and situations that I'm going through? You're going to grow. You're going to get better. You will become stronger, wiser, and you're going to get closer to the man that you want to become. Thank God for the hard times. Thank God for all those problems and adversity that you're facing, because it's just teaching you lessons for life so you can become better, greater, wiser, stronger. So change your mentality and your perspective now. And the fourth and last lesson that I wrote is that God will use every single adversity and every single hard time that you go through to mold you into the greatest version that He created you to be, but only if you let Him. Like I said, you need to change your perspective, you need to change your mentality, and you need to ask God, God, what do you want me to learn from this? And you need to ask Him, God, please help me become my greatest version. Please help me be molded to the version that you made me to be, and help me see this adversity, see these hard times as a blessing, as a stepping stone to becoming the man and the version that I want to be, that I want to become. And when you do that, when you ask God for strength, when you ask God for wisdom, He will give it to you. He will use all that pain that you're feeling to mold you into the best version of yourself. Trust me. You just gotta have faith. You just gotta ask Him, God, please let me be my greatest version. Let me discover my full potential. Convert this pain into a blessing. Convert all these hard times into a blessing. And He will do it. If you want me to help you one-on-one to get over those problems that you're dealing with, to become your greatest version, send me a message through Instagram. Send me the word change, and I will teach you one-on-one. I teach people how to master their mindset, their physique, their money, and their spirituality. If you want to work these areas and you want to become the greatest version of yourself, the one that God created you to be, send me a DM through Instagram. I will teach you one-on-one how to overcome these problems and how to turn this pain that you're feeling into your greatest blessing ever. Because I did that. God did that with me, and I can do it with you too. So I'll be waiting your message, because your greatest version is waiting for you too. How long Are you going to procrastinate? It's time for you to change. It's now or never, brother. You don't have no more time to waste.